5 signs you're dealing with a hyper feminine man. Number 1, this is usually a big turn off for women. It's when a guy is very indecisive or passive. Oh, I don't know, let's just go with the flow. I can't decide what to eat tonight. What do you think? Always wanting to be led by a woman. That's a hyper feminine man. Number 2, he lacks healthy boundaries. This is something that you need to watch out for in his everyday action, not just with you, but even with his friends. Because honestly, there is nothing for me personally more annoying than being with someone that's a people pleaser. I want my man to have strong boundaries and standards that make me respect him. And men want to be respected, you know?
Day and night she talks. Each word more useless than the next.
Well, I've always found the best way to respect a man is just to openly disrespect him by calling him hyper-feminine. With these first 2 things, you've openly admitted your contradictions. Modern women want men to take the lead and be decisive, but she also needs to be the one in charge. He needs to make the decisions, but only when they align with her goals. He should be giving her princess treatment, but should also not be a people pleaser. Modern women want the worst of both worlds thanks to their inability to never let anything get in the way of their quest to be an empowered victim who's never wrong yet constantly being domineered by men. It's a blatant contradiction so that no matter what, you'll always get your way and have something to complain about. And part of that is to openly disrespect all of the men that you don't want while making exceptions for the men that you do. But that's not going to stop you from demanding that we pay for your dinner, but that's just common sense.
Number 3, he lacks follow-through, meaning his action does not match his words. He is usually, talking a big game, but he's not doing anything about it. Why? Because a masculine man is a man of his word, and a masculine man is a man of doing. They're never gonna say something and do something else.
Are you sure?
I hate to break it to you, sister, but Chad follows through plenty. He just does it with you. He doesn't have to. If he tells you he's gonna call you later and he doesn't, it's because he doesn't have to. He knows that he's going to get what he wants either way. If he calls you, it's because he knows that you'll be up for a little bedroom fun. And if he doesn't, that just means he gets the peace and quiet of not having to deal with you. Either way, Chad will lack follow-through in regards to this subject, but will you call him hyper-feminine? Of course not. Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Chang, Wang, Takeda, and Biff will always get a pass from you when it comes to these labels. The list is clearly reserved for the bottom 95% of men that you inexplicably despise. It's a mere justification you use to condemn the men who have done you no wrong. But that's only because we remind you of what league you should be playing. And that's something that makes you so insecure that you need to lash out at men for subconsciously reminding you.
Number 4, he wants to be chased. A man in his masculine energy don't want to be chased by you. He will find it to be a turn-off. He will be the hunter, the protector, the pursuer. He would want to court you, and he would want to almost win you over. So, yeah. Number 5, he loves gossip, drama, negativity. To be honest, I think this is such an unattractive trait. Doesn't matter what gender you are, but if he is addicted to those things, he's definitely in his hyper feminine era. Let me know if you want part 2.
You don't know what words mean, do you?
Woman, a masculine man does not have to chase you. You will chase him every time. That's how the hunt works. He shows up, he does his thing, and you'll be all over him like a hobo with a bottle of cheap scotch. He will never chase you. You won't let him. You want this man to make you feel special and desired. That's why you'll throw yourself at him while you throw your bar tab at the closest simp. You'll be so hyper-fixated on trying to win this guy over that when he tells you to your face that he won't chase you, you'll make up some sort of an excuse to stick around. Once again, these masculine men will always be the exception to your arbitrary rules. Just like your stupid gossip thing. Gossiping is strictly for you, and you can gossip all you want. You can spread rumors and even straight up lies about people, but then again, Chad will always be the exception. Just face it, woman, this list is reserved for the men you already find undesirable, which is a coincidence. For most self-respecting men, the feeling's mutual.
Indeed! Let's dispel some myths that our culture has somehow perpetuated and the trolls on social media have heartily embraced. That would be that women are invisible once they hit their mid to late 30s. That these women are over the hill, unwanted, past their prime, washed up, unattractive, without value, and certainly without options. No. Like, no. Based on my experience and also the experiences of other women my age and older, younger men are all about older women.
And that's an interesting thing about mathematics is when you're 50% right, you're 100% wrong.
Well, go figure, Gertrude. It looks like hell does have some climate control after all, because I actually agree with you. Younger men have absolutely no problem banging older women. But it's not because they find you desirable. None of these men actually want to date you for anything long term. You're old, you're desperate, and they know this. That's why when young men see a used up over the hill broad, they immediately put you into what's known as the practice category, or more commonly known as better than nothing. There isn't a man in his 20s that's going to want you for more than 20 minutes in a dark room, Gertrude, and deep down you know this. But accepting it would mean that you would have to accept that your value on that particular marketplace is less than suboptimal. That you can't change thousands of years worth of biological evolution, Gertrude, no matter how desperately you pray for it.
Like, without reservation, without shame, the utmost enthusiasm, sometimes a little too much, like down boy. Consistently, what I am hearing from younger men is that older women are so compelling because they offer more confidence, better conversation, less bullshit, and better sex. So, ladies, my queens, in case you have any doubts, you are a fine wine and you are only getting better with age. You are a sexy muffin. Get out there and rock your world, rock someone else's world.
Gertrude, just stop it, please. Young men are not attracted to your confidence or your conversation skills because you actually have to possess those, and you clearly don't. You are dull and willing to settle for any warm body that you can get. It's a known fact that women don't age like wine. They age like eggs, and once those eggs are rotten, there really isn't a whole lot that you can do besides go up to young men, seduce them, and ruin their lives with your stench. Now, Gertrude, I know that you're a relationship coach, so having basic knowledge when it comes to anything isn't exactly your forte, so allow me to illuminate something for you. Denial is not a river in Egypt. None of those younger men will ever want you for anything serious because your ovaries aged like milk and you still require no less than 3 filters even after caking on a pound of makeup onto your face. And once that man sees you without makeup and your stretch marks, he's gonna regret wanting to do it with the lights on, and he's gonna go after someone a little bit more attractive. Or a lot more attractive in your case, Gertrude, but that's just a given.
That's funny because it's so true.
I want to talk about the good guy.
Oh my God, what's wrong with your face?
The one that you're married to. The one that everyone loves. Who is a great dad, a great provider. He even does the dishes. I want to talk about that good guy because yesterday I was coaching a really brave woman whose heart is just breaking because she wants to leave her good guy. And she's not alone. It is overwhelming to think that you are doing this when in reality is you're doing this not just for you, not just for your kids, but also for him.
Bullshit!
Yeah, that's just an outright lie. If you're married to a good man who's a good father and has dedicated his life to protecting you and the family, and you still want to divorce him, then you don't care about that guy's feelings. And you certainly don't care about the kids. It's all about you and your feelings. When a modern woman says that she's divorcing a perfectly good guy, you don't need an interrogator to translate what she's saying. Basically, she used the good guy to provide her with kids, a home, and amenities, and after a while, she decided that she exploited this man directly for long enough, and now it was time to take the kids, the house, and half of all of his assets through alimony and child support. If you married a good man and actually cared about his feelings, you wouldn't be getting the government involved. You would straight up be putting in the effort to make a marriage work. And that would have been the brave thing to do. But what does it matter when you get to be called brave for doing the polar opposite?
If your relationship is no longer working, if you are not in love with this man, as wonderful as he might be, then it is no longer serving any of you to stay in something just because he's good. This is what I said to her and I say to a lot of you, just because he's a good guy does not mean he's a good guy for you anymore.
You! I will think of you as I throw up into the toilet.
I'm honestly kind of shocked that nobody has thought to rewrite wedding vows for the modern era. I mean, think about it. These brides are swearing a lifelong oath of loyalty, fealty, and faithfulness to a man, but they'll back out the second their lives don't go the way they want. These women are told that marriages are all about love and happiness and all of the other sappy crap that'll give you the diabetes within 5 seconds of contact. They refuse to understand that marriages take work on both sides. And just because you complain to this man about your fifis doesn't mean you're putting in any effort, woman. And just because you demand your husband change everything about himself just to please you isn't putting in effort either. And just because you pack on an extra 80 pounds after the honeymoon doesn't mean that you're pulling your own weight, sweetheart. Just shows that you've taken advantage of some guy whose only crime was caring about you.
And by the way, who you were at 20, 23, 24. I met my now ex when I was 23. That's not who I was at 53, right? And neither are you, that same young girl that married the good guy. I know that it's breaking your heart and you are angst with what this could potentially do. But I can tell you that 3 years post me leaving a good guy, I'm happier, my kids are happier, and yes, he's much happier.
You're not just wrong, you're stupid. Now wait just a minute. And you're ugly, just like your mum.
Woman, your ex-husband is happier because you made his life a living hell. Divorcing a good man just because you don't feel in love with him is the ultimate sign of disrespect. You might as well should have just told him to his face that you only used him for his DNA and a joint checking account. By divorcing this man for no other reason outside of your fifis, you set your children up for failure, as well as making an innocent man a casualty in your never-ending war to always be right. You don't feel guilty for hurting this man, because if you ever cared about his feelings in the first place, the idea of destroying him with a pointless divorce never would have crossed your mind. The guilt is nothing more than a bunch of smoke and mirrors that you throw up to garner as much sympathy as you can while disregarding all of the things that good man did for you. And you think by feeling bad, this absolves you of any wrongdoing. But it doesn't work that way, sister. There isn't enough sap in the world to cover up the fact that you ruined a man because he isn't the man that you wanted. And now that you're 53, you're gonna know what it's like when you find out that no self-respecting man will ever want you either. Before signing off today, gentlemen and gents, I think YouTube has been up to a little bit of funny business, and I think your old pal Locke the Bounty Hunter is in the YouTube doghouse once again. I consider it a flattering gesture because it shows that we're doing something right, but if you wouldn't mind just checking to make sure that you are subscribed to this video, that the notification bell is still ringing, I would greatly appreciate it. And if you are new here and you're finding that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share this video so we can continue to give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.